Yahweh shines the power. Yeah. Who's the power? Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh shines.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom, everybody online. Welcome to another live class. We're here. We're here in Houston. Today is Wednesday. All the locations to the schools are going to be up on the screen. I'm going to be brief with these announcements. We got the school locations on the screen. If you're in Houston, San Antonio, Rochester, New York, Norfolk, Virginia, you can check us out at those addresses on those days at those times. All right. We got Memorial of the Blowing of the Trumpets, right? We got that coming up next month on the 26th. All right, so please stay tuned for that. I'm sure we'll be definitely getting together. If it falls on a class day, what day is the 26th? Let's see.
I believe it's on a Friday.
It's on a Friday? We may not have class that day. We may just get together.
Oh no, it's on a Monday.
It's on a Monday? Same thing. Okay. So yeah, we'll probably be getting together. We'll definitely be getting together on that night. So again, if you're local and you wanna be a part of the feast, feel free to join us. Come one, come all. You can watch us on YouTube, which that's probably what you're doing now. We got a few different channels. We got she's gonna put them up there for y'all. She's gonna put the channels up. Mashaba has his blog talk radio. I think they're on
Damn Near every day now.
Yeah, but they also are either on iTunes or they're also on another platform.
iHeartRadio?
Or iHeart, one of them. Yeah, they've been stepping it up, doing big things with that. So you can check them out. I believe it's either iHeart or iTunes. I forgot exactly what he said. I'm sure I'll be talking fast sometimes. But yeah, you can check that out. You said every day?
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. We have it down for Tuesdays and Thursdays, but if it's every day, that's what's up. They got a few teachers out there, so that's a good thing. So you can check that out. You can check out our other YouTube pages. 5 Minutes of Wisdom, Hidden Truth Bible Show. We got kids class on Sunday at 1 p.m. live. Check it out for the young kids, 12 and under. If you're local, have them come through and really learn who they are. They go to school throughout the week. They get indoctrinated. we gotta uproot all that stuff they learned, that they're learning, and instill in them the true wisdom. So have them come through for that. We got Hebrew Academy in each of the states: Rochester Monday, Houston Tuesday, and VA Wednesday. We started at 7 o'clock, 7 to 9. All right, Hebrew Academy is important. That's where we go through our breakdowns. That's where we go through street speaking, protocols, marching, and not just those things. You know, we have a lot of, since it's just brothers, and we don't have an opportunity to always get brothers together, we take those moments to rap about and talk about and go through things that, you know, households and just the standard and just whatever brothers need to talk about, whatever needs to be dealt with. So it's good to be there. It's good to be there. We got workout. We're doing flyers. We're back on the flyers before class, right? Yeah. We couldn't get to it today.
A lot of rain.
Yeah, the weather, but we're back on that. So, you know, if you're available, you know, you want to partake in those different things. All right. If you want to contact a teacher, you got me. My number is 303-557-8979. I'm here in Houston. We got Priest Kazakia, 757-300-4047. He's in VA. Okay, we got a few businesses. We got Israelware. Okay, and you can check that out you can check out the different businesses. You just go to isbhpk.com and you'll see Sweet Ambiance, you'll see Israelware, you'll see Fringed Up, you'll see Chosen Creations. Right? We set up these businesses to try to support ourselves, not have to put the burden on the congregation, but even with the businesses, we definitely still need help because we ain't millionaires, right? The businesses are for now they're trying to get us by, but we definitely need help. So whatever donations you want to give, whatever alms you want to give, you can do that through the Wells Fargo, through the Zelle, right? What? Zelle, PayPal, what else? Cash App, Wells Fargo, Venmo, all that. All that. So that's it for the announcements. Oh, one more thing. Passover garments, brothers, I'm going to keep reminding y'all. Please make sure that you're sending in something weekly towards your Passover garment. I got my gun. I got Michael. I got my gun. I got the brother David. He's been sending me through Cash App. You can send it to me. You can get it to the sisters in VA, Shalomaya, Shawashana. You can contact them to see how to set that up. But please, brothers are sending $25 a week. It's not a lot of money, but it does add up. And all you got to do is go off of the last price you paid last year. If your rank is the same, go off the same price. And then if it does fluctuate, if it goes up, at least you're already ahead of the game. If the prices go down, which they're not. Let's be real. Prices ain't going down. They're going up. So prepare to pay a little bit more, but at least you're ahead of the curve. Remember, we got to travel. So you want to set some money aside for travel. If you drive, gas, flights, start looking into your flights now. They are hitting. All right? Flights are expensive. Even for this, we got the summit in VA also, November 18th, 19th, and 20th. So, if you want to do that, make sure you're setting some dough aside. I've been looking for a flight. It's pricey. It is, but that's the that's the sacrifice. We all got to do it. We all got to do it in this game of the truth. All right. So I want to go over this class. That's it for the announcements. I want to go over this class. We were talking about it the other day. Fun little class. I've been when you watch the news, obviously they hit you with the same BS stories over and over. But you always got to try to find the spiritual side and what is going on in the world. Somebody get me Wisdom of Solomon 16, and I'll give y'all a title in a sec. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 24 real quick. And like I said, fun little class. Just to highlight a few things that's going on, and hopefully brothers and sisters are paying attention to these days, man, and what's happening in the world. Remember, you got to get your mind off your corner, your block, your community, and start thinking geopolitical. Start thinking the whole earth. You see what I'm saying? What's going on outside of Houston? What's happening outside of the Southwest side? What's happening outside of A-Leaf, Sugarland? We got to know these things. Read Wisdom of Solomon 16 and verse 24.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 24.
Go ahead.
For the creature that serveth thee,
Read.
who art the maker, increaseth his strength against the unrighteous for their punishment.
And that's what I want to go into. I want to go into the things that the Most High has created, how they're destroying the unrighteous. Go ahead.
And abateth his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee.
For the benefit of who?
Of such as put their trust in thee.
Go to Wisdom of Solomon 5:17. So I'm not going to give it away. I want to see if y'all can guess. After this scripture, I want to see if y'all can guess. What is it? What is the Most High? What creature is it that he got out there that's punishing the unrighteous? And there's many guesses, right? There's many things that he's created that's
out there.
that's out there that's just, man, wreaking havoc. Mm-hmm. Right? So read our Wisdom of Solomon 5:17.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 17.
Go ahead.
He shall take to him his jealousy
Right.
for complete armor.
Go ahead.
And make the creature his weapon.
Make the what?
The creature his weapon.
Go ahead.
For the revenge of his enemies.
Right. Now we know Solomon was going into Egypt and the wilderness and how the Most High was, fiery serpents, and even in this 5, he was talking about the hail, the snow, the fire mingled with, what was it? With hail, fire mingled with snow, right, to destroy Egypt. So those are just some of the creations. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think is something that the Most High is using right now to check the unrighteous? And it's what?
Plagues like sicknesses and diseases.
That leads into it. That's part of it, right? Come on, it's something big. It's been happening.
Oh.
What?
The wars?
No.
Inflation.
Mm-mm.
Can I say one?
That's part of it.
Probably part of it.
That's part of it. What?
America's pride. The wicked in their
Well,
pride.
we're gonna get into that.
The weather?
Okay, what about it? She's close. What about it?
How there's, like in Dallas, all the flooding that they like, it's been 60 something days that it hadn't
Rain?
in Dallas, and now when it did rain, it was like so many inches of rain where a whole bunch of people their cars were like getting flooded. So they said that rain was like a rain that would have gone throughout the whole year.
They got one day. They got the rain that was going to cover for the whole summer, basically.
The whole summer.
Yeah, they got in one day. Now that happened in Dallas. That also happened in Death Valley, California, where they got enough rain in one day to suffice for a year out there, where it was moving cars. So it's not the drought. What's the opposite of the drought? Or not? What's the opposite of the rain? I just said it. It's the droughts. It's the droughts. Think about it. It's the fact that there is no rain. There is no, and it's not just America. It's America. It's Europe.
China.
It's China. Mexico. There's the Most High he's waging this water war, or the lack thereof. And as we go through the class, you'll see that the lack of rain, it leads into all these other things that they throw out there on the news: the inflation, the food shortages, the hydro plant shutting down. All these things are dependent on the rainwater, right? So go to Revelations. No, go to. Let's talk about let's talk about the sun real quick. Let's talk about the sun. Go to Ecclesiasticus 43. And I don't know, what y'all want to title this? What y'all want to title it? I'll let y'all title it. What y'all want to title it? I can't stand the rain. I don't know.
Singing in the rain.
We'll think of a title. Somebody get something good. I'll let y'all title it. Go to Ecclesiasticus 43 and verse 2.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 43, verse 2.
Because what is the white man blaming everything on? Global warming, right? The rising temperatures. The rising temperatures is not the fact that it's not raining. It's the fact that it's so damn hot.
Right.
Where and you know, it's funny because in my little bootleg garden, I even can see like, wait a minute, the soil gets dry so quick. You water your little plants, and you know I got my stuff in little bags that you can see the water level, and you usually it takes 2-3 days for that stuff to dry out, but by the next day you got to be back there pouring water because you can see that the air is just sucking moisture. The sun is so hot. Right? So go to Ecclesiasticus 43 and verse 2. So they are right. Esau is right. The temperature is going up. But it ain't because of what they say it is. Emissions, too many cars, too many cows, too many people, too much this.
Too many cows.
Yeah, they're trying to say that all the methane, all the cows farting, blowing holes through the ozone. That's insane. That's insane.
A cow fart.
Okay, I mean, it's powerful.
Yeah,
He knows about, we've talked about cow farts, me and Thao. We've had a debate. Cow farts, is it better to eat meat or be a vegetarian? Well, the problem is this. It don't matter what's happening. Cows need rain too. Ain't gonna be no cow farts. And then who they gonna blame? Right? But read this. Ecclesiasticus 43 and verse 2.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 43, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
The sun, when it appeareth, declaring at his rising a marvelous instrument, the work of the Most High.
Right, so I'm going here to show, first of all, the Most High, he controls that sun. He created it. He controls it. He dictates how the sun moves. He dictates the temperature. He dictates it all. Go ahead.
At noon, it parches the country.
Yeah, at noon, you know when you say, oh, I'm parched, your throat's dry, you're thirsty. He said at noon, it parcheth the country. Why? Because at noon is the hottest. That's the hottest point of the day. That's the hottest point of the sun. Go ahead.
Who can abide the burning heat thereof?
That's a question. Who can abide the burning heat? If you were stuck in the desert somewhere, they'd tell you, good luck.
Yep.
Good luck. You ain't going to survive that because what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, I ain't going to lie. There was one day I was out there and I stood out there a little bit too long. And I know I caught a heat stroke because I was messed up for like 2-3 days. I was just dizzy. I had a headache. I was just like loopy and out of it. I felt kind of drunk because that sun was beating down on my head. And by the time I was like, man, let me go in, it was already too late. I was out of there. And this was what, last month in the hundreds? I mean, I don't mind the sun, but you got to know when. I didn't have my head covered. I didn't have anything. I was just out there. And that sun was just, and the way my backyard is set up, the sun rises, boom, and it just sits over my house the whole way till it sets in the west. So I get full sun all day. So if I'm out there, there's no shade. So the scriptures are showing us, man, who could abide in that burning heat? You may abide for a little while, but you can't outlast the Most High's creation. Go ahead.
A man blowing a furnace,
right,
is in works of heat.
Yeah, it's like a man that's putting coals and blowing that furnace and just making it hotter and hotter. Go ahead.
But the sun burneth the mountains 3 times more.
Well, right. Okay, so he's comparing the furnace but saying that the sun is 3 times hotter. So imagine a hot heat that a man is throwing coals and pumping in. You're like, damn, that's hot. But the sun is 3 times hotter. Go ahead.
Breathing out fiery vapors.
Right.
And sending forth bright beams.
Right.
It dimmeth the eyes.
Go ahead.
Great is the Lord that made it.
Right. So just wanted to establish that the Most High, this is his creation.
Yep.
This is one of his creatures. Right? Now let's go to Revelation 16 and verse 8. Let's go to Revelation 16 and verse 8 and let's see what the Most High got one creature doing with another creature. Revelation 16 and 8. I didn't look, but get it from me. Get it from me. You got to get it quick. Go ahead, read that. Revelation 16 and verse 8.
Revelation chapter 16, verse 8.
Right.
And the 4th angel poured out his vial upon the sun.
Go ahead.
And power was given unto him to scorch man with fire.
This is what the Most High is doing, man. He's turning that sun up. He's telling them angels, burn them. Turn up the heat. Make them suffer. The white man is trying to do what? You got Bill Gates. What's he trying to do? What?
Block out the sun.
Yeah, they're trying to come up with programs to literally block the sun. That's impossible. That's impossible because if that was the case, then you would have already done it. Now, the sun is powerful. The sun is powerful, and the one thing about the Most High's creations is what? What's the one thing about what the Most High creates and sends forth? What?
They're obedient.
They're what?
Obedient.
They're obedient, and they're not going to stop until they appease him, right? Till they appease his command. Till they satisfy what the Most High wants. So they can try to block it out all day. But when the Most High wants to change the course of the sun, then what? Well, you know what? We ain't gonna do east to west no more. We're gonna do north to south. What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? See, first of all, how can you block out something when you don't even understand how it moves? They tell you that the earth does what? That the earth goes around the sun, right? Well, we know first Ezra 4? It tells us that the sun moves around the earth. So how can you block something if you don't understand its movements? How can you block a spirit? Something celestial. Right? It ain't happening. But the point that I'm going here is to what? Show you that the Most High is, it's like an oven, man. He's just like, you know what, 400, 450, 500, right? And they say it every year it's getting what? Hotter and hotter. I mean, it was a hot summer, I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
Them 100-degree days, those 90s that felt like, they call it, what do they call it? Like the feel-like temperature, where it's like 90, but it feels like 102.
Heat index.
The heat index, where they're measuring the heat index while you're in the shade, right? Is that how it's measured? I believe that they measure the heat on your skin when you're in a shaded area. So think about it. You're in the shade and it feels like 100. That's crazy. The shade is supposed to be where you get a little break, right? That's where you're supposed to get a little break. But what's happening is that moisture that's in the air, he's turning that into a weapon and just sucking that out with the sun. Right? So, yeah, give me that real quick. I didn't get a chance to find it.
So this is in the Josephus. This is Josephus, book 2, chapter 13.
Yep.
How Moses and Aaron returned into Egypt to Pharaoh, right? So this is going to be section 4, 291. No, section 4, 292. Y'all might want to mark this. Book 2, chapter 13. And it's titled How Moses and Aaron Returned into Egypt to Pharaoh. And this little what would you call it? Section that we're about to read is section 4, 292. So it says, since the severest afflictions arise from every object to those that provoke the divine wrath against them. For such as these have neither the earth nor the air for their friends, nor are the fruits of the womb according to nature, but everything is unfriendly and adverse towards them.
Right. The them is the wicked, right? But Moses was going into, what was it, Pharaoh?
Yeah.
And showing that because of Pharaoh's stubbornness, everything is against him. Go ahead.
That was pretty much it.
Right. Read it one more time.
Verse 292. It says, since the severest, you know what? I can read up, give it a little more.
Yeah, read up a little bit.
So I'll start at 291. So he went to the king and persuaded him to let the Hebrews to Mount Sinai, and there to sacrifice to God, because God had enjoined them so to do. He persuaded him also not to counterwork the designs of the Most High, but to esteem his favor above all things, and to permit them to depart, lest before he be aware, he lay an obstruction in the way of the divine commands.
And that's what Pharaoh was doing. He was obstructing us from leaving Egypt. He'd always throw out some anomaly. Oh, yeah, you can leave, but leave the women and children. Oh, you can leave, but leave the cattle. Oh, you can sacrifice, just go, down the street. He was throwing in different variables to obstruct. Go ahead.
And so occasioned his own suffering such punishments as it was probable anyone that counterworked the divine command should undergo.
Right. Now, anyone that counterworks the divine command was going to suffer. Go ahead.
Since the severest afflictions arise from every object to those that provoke the divine wrath against them.
What were the objects that the Most High used on Pharaoh? Water, fire, ice, wind, disease, flies, animals. Come on, so many frogs. A frog is a little helpless creature, right? Even in my little backyard, I got the little frogs. I got like a whole little nursery back there of frogs, lizards, All little fun things, right? That help out the plants. They eat all the bugs. Nice little ecosystem. And I see the frog and I'm like, oh yeah, cool little froggy, you know. But then when I'll move something and you see 15 frogs back there and it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And they can become annoying. But imagine innumerable amounts of frogs where they're jumping out your mouth and then they die. And the stink and the dead bodies. Yeah. The Most High used nature to destroy Pharaoh. I mean, he used nature in a lot of different ways, right? But he's using nature now to do what? To inflict punishment on the unrighteous, man.
You know, just in reading this, it says, since the severest afflictions arise from every object to those that provoke the divine wrath against them. So when you look at like even this time, when you look at Esau, like you could like just wind your window down and just sneeze, and they say your sneeze travels miles. You could wind your window down and just sneeze, man, and your sneeze will travel a whole bunch of miles, and next thing you know, Edomite breathes it in.
So they can go like a football field.
So it's not a mile, it's a football field. I'm sorry.
Yeah, something like that.
So it'll go and just hit somebody. Just think about COVID, think about monkeypox, think about all these things that's out there that they can catch at any time. Think of like all the weird ways people are dying now. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at it though, it says the Most High, he uses every object, literally anything. Any and everything can get the wicked.
Over 1,000 ways to die. Wasn't that a show? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Most High got innumerable ways to put you down.
And then it says, for such as these have neither the earth nor the air for their friend. So if it feels hot for you, imagine how much hotter it feels for them. You know, a lot of the times we look at them and they really can't take the heat, and it's like, well, maybe the Most High really just had it like super hot for them. Hotter than you think. Like when they had the UPS man that passed out at the door. He had to sit down after he delivered the package. Maybe for you it felt like 110. The Most High probably had it like at 140 for him.
But that's what they're saying. I've been listening to like a lot of these global warming conferences that they're having, and one of the little women that was talking, she said it. She said it's not even the fact that. She said it's not even about the.
Things melting.
She said it's not even about the planet. She said it's just too hot for certain people. She said it don't even matter about the planet. We don't really care about that. It's just that now it's getting unbearable. Those were her words. Like, not exact, but that's the mind. Now wait a minute. We're not able to live here comfortably now, because think about it. When you look at the way this country is set up, it's not set up for the heat. It's not set up. The power grid can't take it. That's why they have rolling blackouts during the summer. People, I never realized that heat stroke was a thing. Remember growing up in New York, playing football in the summer, it gets real hot out there. It gets very humid. Just like Texas, it's right on the water. It gets humid, 100% humidity. The temperature is just not as high. But yeah, people dying, like older Edomites would be dying heat strokes. And I'm like, what the hell is a heat stroke? Yeah. I go outside, I'm just fine. I'm playing ball, playing football, baseball, right? You don't think about these things as a kid. And then even, you grow up and you're used to it. I don't think about the heat. I think more about the cold. That's my kryptonite, right? But the heat, the sun, I'm like, man, give me that. Rejuvenation. Just sit in the sun, let that thing burn me, and it feels like a recharge. But for them, nah. They're like, listen, where's the caves? Where's the caves at? We want to live that cave life. We want to live that vampire life.
Go back to Europe.
But we're going to talk about Europe. See, the beauty of it is there's no escape.
Yeah.
Europe is, listen. Okay, so go to Isaiah 55. Let's talk about the rain, and then we're going to go get into a few facts. A few fun facts of Europe, America, and these different places that are really being impacted. Isaiah 55 and 10.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 55 and verse 10.
Right, so hopefully before, at Ecclesiasticus 43 and 2, you write down the sun. Now write down the rain. The rain is the blessing the purpose of the rain. Isaiah 55:10, read that.
For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower.
Right, so the rain is to make the seeds come forth and for seeds to germinate, to bud, right? That it may give seed to the sower. Go ahead.
And bread to the eater.
Right, seed to the sower. Bread to the eater, food. The more things rain, the more you can water your crop, things will start to seed themselves. You get your potato seeds, your lettuce seeds, that you can replant year to year. Bread to the eater, right? So we know that the rain it's important. It's important. Go to Leviticus 26:1. Oh, wait a minute. 26:4.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 4.
Go ahead.
Then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase.
Right.
And the trees of the field shall yield their fruit.
Uh-huh.
And your threshing shall reach unto the vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time.
Right.
And ye shall eat your bread to the full.
Right.
And dwell in your land safely.
So what's the Most High showing us? That he's going to, with the rain, he gives us this continual ebb and flow of crop, seed, food. Crop, seed, food. Or seed, crop, food. Excuse me. Seed, crop, food. But you need the water. You got to have the water. Go to Ecclesiasticus 35 and 20. Yeah, I know I'm going a little fast. It's because I got a few scriptures. Ecclesiasticus 35 and 20.
The book of Ecclesiasticus 35 and 20.
Uh-huh.
Mercy. Mercy is seasonable in the time of affliction.
Go ahead.
As clouds of rain in the time of drought.
See that? So mercy is seasonable in the time of affliction, like clouds in the time of drought. But let's think about it. We just talked about Dallas, right? They've been in a drought for 2 months, and the Most High was like, here you go. And killed a bunch of people. He made the water come so crazy, they couldn't even handle it.
But you know it's cold, it's all that rain. A lot of it it's so much that a lot of it runs off.
Well, because it's so dry,
and
that's what happens.
Yeah.
There's a runoff. The earth is not drinking it up because the earth is chapped. Like when you go in my backyard, it looks like the desert back there. You can see the ground cracking. And it has all the cracks in it. Why? Because it's so dry, it can't retain any moisture. If you have to slowly wet that ground over a few days for it to fluff up and come back. It takes a while.
You know what's funny is a lot of people that own houses, like, because it's been so dry, their foundations is cracking. So a lot of people's houses.
Yep.
It's crazy, man. A lot of people that got these nice houses, their foundations then cracked up. Y'all know y'all supposed to water y'all foundation every now and then.
You gotta water that land. You gotta water that ground and keep. Because what happens is, like anybody can probably do it now. Go look at the side of your house and you'll see that the dirt, there may be a little small gap, maybe a half inch, maybe an inch. It just depends on how old your property is. But that gap is not good. That's the foundation separating from the dirt. The dirt's clumping up, and the foundation is over here. So then what happens is when it starts to expand, if it goes too fast, you'll get just like pipes when they freeze. They boom, then they expand, they break. So all this drought, homeowners, like he said, they getting hit, right? And not just them, but farmers, agriculture, animals. Man, people are losing so much money.
If you look at people's driveways is cracked up, and that's just their driveway. So if you could look at the driveway and see the cracks, then it's some cracks underneath that house. You see what I'm
Oh yeah,
just from the heat.
And you can see it. You can tell. Like I know my foundation is definitely moving. I can see the tilt in the garage door. It doesn't close flush.
Oh yeah, I got it tilted.
Yeah, and it's not the door. It's there's a slope. Like when it rains at my house, all the water runs towards the curb because of the tilt that there is. So none of that water gets a chance to sit. So my neighborhood, it can flood real quick if it comes down. That grass ain't soaking it up. Go to Hebrews 6 and 7. So what am I going over in this point? Just showing you what the rain, a few scriptures on what the rain is for, man. The rain is for the cattle, for the seed, to bring forth bread.
Yeah.
To bring forth food. Right? Without water, there's no life. Show me any ancient civilization that didn't have water. The Egyptians had to have us do what? Dig canals from the Nile to funnel water into the city.
Yep.
Because without water, there's no life. Now, the Most High knows this. Why was Jacob and Abraham, why were they digging wells? Because you need water. You got to have water to support the ecosystem. Go ahead, read that. Hebrews 6 and verse 7.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 7.
Right?
Even before you read it, like when you look at like the animal kingdom, when you look at like a lion's kingdom or a lion's territory, it's always around a big body of water.
Yeah.
Then they're able to, they're able to go and drink their water, but the water is where all the food is going to be at because every animal got to come to go drink from that water.
That watering
source.
hole, yeah.
So that's where the lions will get their territories.
And then when the water dries up, what do? They migrate across to find more water.
Yep.
All the animals do that. You go watch anything on the Sahara or the Serengeti or any one of those places in Africa where they get their rainy season and it'll be flooded with water. And then when that water starts to dry, that's where you get your migration of antelope, elephant herds, and the lions. They're nomadic, so they move around anyway. But they always try to stay close to that water because they know. Without water, that's it. Finish Hebrews real quick.
Hebrews chapter 6, verse 7. For the earth which drinketh in the rain that cometh up upon it, and bringeth forth herbs,
right?
Meet for them by whom it is dressed.
Right, so that's the purpose of the rain, man, was to keep the food and the life going. Right now, let's get into some fun little.
Oh, can I get this real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Job 37 and verse 13, real quick. Job 37, verse 13.
Okay. Job chapter 37, verse 13.
And this again is on the point of what the rain. Why is the rain? Yeah, Yashbar is killing y'all.
Yeah, y'all slacking on these scriptures. What's going on?
What are y'all tired?
Nah, he didn't know.
Tired?
He didn't know where he was going. He said he knew where he was going. Go ahead.
Elijah, what's up, bro? What's going on?
Elijah, you tired?
No, he's not tired. He's just.
Come on, man.
Gonna catch him. I have faith in Elijah. All right,
sharpen it up. Let's go.
Go ahead, Yashbar.
Job chapter 37, verse 13.
He
causeth it to come.
So the Most High will cause rain or any weather pattern for that sake. But in this situation, we're talking about the rain. So he'll cause it to come. Go ahead.
Whether for correction.
Yeah, the Most High can bring rain for correction. So just think about Harvey.
Yeah, we in the.
Think about Harvey.
Hurricane Andrew was 30 years ago today. Y'all didn't know that. You know about Hurricane Andrew?
Nope.
That whipped through Florida and ripped up part of half of Florida. Almost took it off the map. Category 5. Yeah, it was their Hurricane Harvey. 30 years today. And Harvey, 5 years. About 5 years and maybe in a couple of months. Because, and we're in hurricane season right now. I don't know if y'all know that.
About to get a peak.
We're in hurricane season now, but the thing with hurricane season, it used to be 6 months. Now it's starting early and lasting longer. So there's going to be a lot of rain. Go ahead.
Or for his land.
So he can cause it to come. He can make a whole bunch of rain come down. Next thing you know, I heard on the radio today, driving to work. It was like, turn around and don't drown.
Oh, if you see like a puddle?
Yeah, if you see like a puddle of water while you're driving, they're like, turn around and don't drown. Like, that's the slogan.
Nah, bro.
But that's
bro.
part of the Most High's correction. When you end up losing a car, you end up losing a house, you end up losing, a lot of people had to start over. You know what I'm saying?
Think about that flood. Think about that flood in Germany that just happened. What, 3 months ago?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
They said that was a 1,000-year flood. Think about the flood that just happened in Kentucky. They got 2 of them in 1 week. 2 1,000-year floods, meaning it won't happen again for another 1,000 years. It happened twice in 1 week in Kentucky. They got smashed.
Y'all wanna know what's funny, man? You know all those people that live by Braeswood that had to get their houses raised? You know how much it costs to get your house raised? That's another mortgage.
Oh, because you're basically leveling the house and then building a foundation higher on the foundation?
It's a whole nother mortgage. Like, I was talking to I've talked to a couple of people that did it when we would be delivering to them. They're like, bro, it's like a whole nother mortgage.
You got to remortgage the mortgage.
So think about how the Most High works for you and you wouldn't even know it, because guess what? That's a Amalek community. You know what I'm saying? So while Harvey was going on and everybody was just here chilling, barbecuing, Amalek was over there drowning.
Yeah, because he didn't get flooded. I didn't get flooded.
Amalek was over there drowning, and guess what? The ones that did drown, they was so damn petrified and traumatized. It was like, you might as well take out another mortgage to raise this house some. And guess what? We drove by there today, and that bayou was full. It wasn't even raining hard anymore.
It was up there where you could see it.
It was, yeah, bro, the water looks scary.
Yeah, that water
looks scary in that bayou, bro.
And the crazy part is Texas is still in a drought. How can Texas be in a drought? It's a coastal city. Well, we're going to talk about it. Finish it up.
Or for mercy.
You see that? So, yeah, the Most High, he can send all these things, man, for correction,
like that.
Or for his land, or for mercy. So when you look at it, of course, the rain is naturally for the land, it's for the ecosystem, for the animals, for nature, all that, the trees, the plants, everything, right? But also it can be for mercy, man. You a farmer, you go out there and you plant, you sit there and you pray. You pray for the Most High. All you got is him to water all your plants, to water your flock.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? You know how many people sold their livestock, man?
We're gonna go into that.
Oh.
We're gonna go into it. You jumping? We're gonna go into it. Look.
Well, you know how many people sold their trees?
We're gonna go into it now.
Stop.
But no, let's hit these stats. No, because we're gonna talk about it. I just kind of want to go through it in order. But what's that?
No, I was going to say you should start at verse 11 for
Go to verse 11.
Job chapter 37, verse 11. Also by watering, he wearieth the thick cloud. He scattereth his bright cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And it is turned round about by his counsel.
Mm-hmm. See that? Like he said, it's dependent on the Most High. A lot of these farmers, it's funny. You look at these Edomites, man. They're like, man, I've been doing this my whole life, and I ain't never seen nothing like this. Because what do? Right? In the beginning of spring, after the first frost or after the last frost, they'll go out, they'll plow, they'll sow their seeds. A lot of them don't have, like, you drive by some farms and you'll see the big watering
with the wheel
machine with the wheels.
Yeah.
And they're able to just run that through.
Yeah, you gotta have money for that.
A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't have that.
You gotta have a lot. You gotta actually have a water.
You gotta have a well. That pumps from a well.
Yeah.
So a lot of them don't have those wheels with the hoses on it that runs through their farm. So guess what? There was one dude in Europe. He drove the truck right over the corn. It was all withered. As far as the eye could see, it was just dead. It sprung up maybe 4 or 5 inches. Corn stalks, they go up there, right? The thing sprung up 4 or 5 inches and it just looked dry, like hay. And he was to the point where he just drove his truck over it, like, yeah, it don't matter, it's all dead.
You know what's funny, y'all?
I'm like, damn.
Being on the truck, I actually got to see, like, when they say, you know how when they're like, yeah, we have some chances of some scattered showers.
Oh yeah.
I actually been on the truck. I was able to see what they're talking about, because you'll see, like, it raining over here, but it's like 120 where you're driving at, but it's like rain over here.
Right.
But then it's raining over here too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can look forward and you can see it's raining over there. And it just makes me think about like just the scripture, how the Most High, he'll turn around. He'll turn the clouds and the rain wherever he wants. And then it makes me think about where it says how he makes it come for his mercy, because you could literally sit there as a farmer or as a cattle rancher, and you could sit there and just watch the rain and be like,
it ain't hitting my house.
yeah, but it ain't coming here.
Like,
you can literally watch it going
it's all the way out there. You see the water just falling, and you're like, damn, I need some of that.
It's not coming to you.
But that's what's been going on.
Yeah.
That's what's been going on. So check this out. I want y'all to take a guess. How long do y'all think that the U.S. has been in a drought? It's been some years. Take a guess. Anybody. Don't look it up. Don't cheat. What?
20 years.
Okay. What else? What you think? 10? What say ye?
5.
5? What you think, Darwin? Okay. So that's about 15. What you think?
Maybe like 150.
Oh, damn. What's that? What you think, Ivy? How long has the U.S. been in a drought?
20 years.
Okay. What you think, sis? About 15? What you think?
I say 30.
30? They were 20 and 20 was the closest. 22 years since 2000, the U.S. as a whole has been considered in a drought. They call it a mega drought. So 95% of the Southwest is in a drought. Southwest would be Nevada, Arizona, Texas, parts of California. Look up for me, Shara, Lake Mead. That's America's largest reservoir. Now, you know, what caught my eye with these stories is when they go and they do their little news stories. Like I remember one story, the dude was live. And he was live at Lake Mead. This is in Nevada. And this river runs through Nevada and goes into Cali. And it basically feeds California, Southern California, Nevada. I think you get New Mexico that gets water from that also. Arizona gets water from that also. This is the coldest part.
Because Lake Mead's it comes from the Colorado River.
It
right?
comes from the Colorado River, right? So it extends all the way through, and then Lake Mead is just this big reservoir. It's huge. But the dude's doing the news story on like the riverbank, which the riverbank is basically gone. It's just dirt, and the water is all the way down there. And they hear this huge noise, and they all turn around like, oh, we thought a boat crashed. Because the water level is so low, that's what's going on with the boats. They go through these reservoirs, they go through these rivers, and they hit the bottom. They hit things on the bottom. Yeah, he was there. He said basically at this time last year, he would be 40 feet underwater.
Damn.
Yeah, 40 feet underwater. That's how much the water has receded in 1 year. You got Lake Powell. Look up Lake Powell.
Oh, you know what the worst one is? It's actually Salt Lake City, Utah.
What is that? What is that?
Salt
Oh
Lake.
no,
Salt Lake.
it's called the Salt Lake. Yeah.
Yeah, in Utah.
Yeah.
That's their main city, of course.
Yeah.
But that lake is drying up so much, and it's one of the only lakes that actually got salts.
Yeah.
In the whole world, so it has like a lot of different minerals, and because it's drying up, all that mineral, it's just going to be at the bottom. It's going to be in the dirt.
Just gonna.
And they have like really bad dust storms there.
Ooh.
So now it's just going to whip up all those minerals. That's like
Throw salt in the air.
and it's just going to be in the air, and it's like cancer causing agents that's in there. Where if you breathe it in, it causes cancer.
Well, there ain't a lot of Israelites in Utah, is there?
Except for the basketball team.
Right. Right. And the occasional weirdos that want to camp out in the mountains, right?
God.
There are a lot of Israel in Utah, man, so they can have them dirt storms and mineral storms, right?
God.
Lake Powell, Lake Mead, the Colorado River. Colorado is on water restriction. California been on water restrictions for years. You know, you look at it, the thing with, why is this important? Well, when you look at California, what do they produce crop-wise? Does anybody know? One of the things that we love to eat, we eat it all the time, you eat it on a lot of different things, it's red. Tomato. Who said it? Tomatoes. So if you go to the store and look at the price of tomatoes, they're up 10% because the crop is dying off. Ketchup is up. Remember, you got ketchup, pizza, tomato sauce, right? Tomatoes are in a lot of different things, but the cost is going up. The cost of tomatoes is going, the cost of everything. So there's your inflation because it's not being produced. Remember the time when, I don't know, you might be all, I mean, we're the same age. You might remember. Remember it was the times when you would go to the store and you couldn't find like blueberries, strawberries because they were seasonal. Mm-hmm. You're too young. You ain't gonna remember that. Y'all get everything on tap now. That's the problem. Everything's on tap. They found a way to do what? GMO crops so they could be grown year round. Strawberries are seasonal. They're a springtime crop. Blueberries, the same thing. But now you can go to the store and get strawberries in the winter. Right? They found a way to greenhouse them and do all those different things. But let's go to the Northeast where New Jersey, they call it the Garden State. Why? Because of all the damn farms. What do? Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries is big out there. But they're in a drought also. So it's not just the South, it's the Northeast. Boston, Connecticut, Jersey, New York, Rockland County, they're on water restriction. You can't water your lawn more than 3 days a week or whatever it is to conserve water. Yeah, they are. Oh yeah, a lot of places. Colorado been like that ever since. I used to do landscaping out there, so they always had like alternate days of watering, which is a water restriction. You couldn't run your water every day, your sprinkler. They fine you because you're using up all the water. But now I get it. I didn't realize that there was a drought for the last 20-something years. Right? I didn't realize that they were trying to conserve water like that. But all you got to do is watch these news stories, man. Just type it in and look at it. And you'll see these farmers that they're crying. Crying because their crop is drying up. Crying because they're animals. Right? Think about the power plants. The power plants, the hydro plants run on what? On water. They're shutting down hydro plants. Hydro-propelled power plants that produce electricity. Mm-hmm. They're shutting those down. Why? Because the water levels are too low in some of these areas to support the plant running. So that's here in the U.S. Let's go to Europe, where they're in a 500-year drought. They've been in drought for the last 500 years. So I'm going to read this real quick. And you have brought this out in the last class. Well, what you got?
Before you read, what's the name of this dam right here again?
That's not Hoover, is it?
That is the Hoover Dam.
Is it shut?
So the Hoover Dam is, that's like a power, that dam.
Yeah, it's a hydro dam. It powers. It powers.
Not no more.
It's off?
It's damn near off if it's not off already.
There's one that's off. I didn't get the name of it.
Because it's so damn.
But the water is so low. You need water. You need water to be able to keep those dams running.
Hoover Dam.
But you know what's cold about? I want y'all to even. This is why the Most High is checking these people, man. Checking this whole world, because you got to look at when they construct a dam, the damage it does to the people downriver. Mm-hmm. Like you got China. What are they doing? Well, you got Russia, you got China, you got India. Russia is building dams to cut the water off from India. So they're diverting the water from the top of China. There's a river. I think it's the what's the big river in India? They bathe in it. They wash their cows. The Ganges. Yeah. They pray in it. They do all this stuff in that river. They bathe. They eat it. Like they'll poop upstream and then drink it downstream. They think the river has mystical powers. All this crap. But what's going on is, the river that feeds that river comes from China. What's China doing? They're building a dam right above India that's going to divert the water back up into China. And so they are beefing because their river is going to dry up. All their spiritual, magical powers is going to be gone. They do everything in that river. They pray. They do some weird baptisms and right. But you got to see the nation's been trying to wage these water wars and control where the water goes because of its importance. But the Most High has that ultimate control. Why? Because if it stops raining, ain't no water to control. If the water stopped being filled up, there is nothing to control. You see that? So let's deal with Europe. Germany, they got a river. It's called the Rhine River, Rhine. It said it's at the one of the lowest levels. Now this river is important because if you know about Germany and where it's positioned, this river allows them to do trade and to be able to import and export. 80% of their trade goes through this river. 80%. Not trains, not airplanes, it's this river. Let's see, it says, I'm going to read this. I just grabbed this from like a few articles and just threw it together. It says, Europe's hot, dry summer means that the water level in the Rhine, Western Europe's most important waterway, is at a record low, making it too shallow for many ships to pass. So imagine those big cargo, those container ships. Those things are huge. But what they have to do, instead of loading them all the way up, they got to send more ships with less cargo. So what does that do? It takes longer to get goods, the backup, the congestion, right? It says a problem for the country that depends on the river for 80% of its water freight. Apart from the obvious impact on boats, dry rivers are also hitting the energy sector, which is already in crisis. When you look at those plants, the Chernobyl, that's in, where is that, in Ukraine?
Yeah.
Russia? The other one that they just took over, those are right by the water, those nuclear power plants, because they use water to get those plants going. No water, no nuclear energy.
Yep.
That energy is what Europe and these countries are running off of. It says hydroelectric power has dropped by a sufficient 20%, according to the report. The report warns that the situation is worsening in countries including Italy, Spain, Portugal, France, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Romania, Hungary, Northern Siberia. If you know where that is, that's at the top of Russia. You got Russia, and then you got Siberia, that's way up here, right? The Netherlands, which is over here, Belgium. So you got Siberia, you guys are looking at Siberia, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany. And you got rivers that run through to get everything connected. Moldova, Ireland, and the UK. So the whole European Union is feeling it, right? It says, check this out. And you had brought this up last week, or no, a few days ago. It says the researchers' stark warning follows rapid sinking river levels across Europe, which have exposed relics of the past, including so-called hunger stones. Check this out. Warning of potential famine and sunken remains of World War II Nazi ships. Now, you know what the coldest part about the ships is? These ships are being unveiled because the water is going so low, but they can't touch them because they got what on them? What does a warship carry?
Ammunition.
They got live ammo, nuclear warheads on these ships that went down. So they literally are just, you got a mine of ships that are just sitting in the water.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, I looked into what a hunger stone was. I remember you had brought it out, right? So I just went on Wikipedia. A hunger stone is typical of hydrological. It is a type of hydrological landmark common in Central Europe. Hunger stones serve as famine memorials and warnings that were erected in Germany and in ethnic German settlements throughout Europe in the 15th through 19th centuries.
Wow.
These stones were embedded into rivers during droughts to mark the water level as a warning to future generations that they will have to endure famine-related hardship if the water sinks to this level again. So what's happening? Well, the stones that people wrote on, saying, if you see me cry, they're re-emerging. Why? Because the Most High is sucking the water out the damn earth and not putting it back. Check this out. One famous example in the LB River in Deccan, Czech Republic is, it says, it's in their language, but it says, if you see me weep, carved into it as a warning. Many of these stones featuring carvings or other artwork were erected following the hunger crisis of 1816 and 1817, caused by the eruptions of the Tambora volcano. In 1918, a hunger stone in the bed of the Elbe River near Deccan became exposed during a period of low water coincided to the wartime famines of the World War I. Similar hunger stones in the river were uncovered again during droughts in 2018 and 2022. We in 2022. I know you're thinking like, well, it keeps repeating itself. Nothing's happening. Well, if you're not paying attention, it's getting worse because now America's really being affected. Mexico's in a drought, if you didn't know that. We already know Africa stays dry. They stay chapped, right? They stay ashy. But for Europe, Europe is considered what of the world? Who knows? Got to know these things. They're considered the breadbasket of the world because they export the most grain. What is the national food of Ukraine? Who knows? You love it. You love it. What?
Wheat?
Nope. Close. Nope.
Avocados?
Nope. That's tropical. It's sunflowers. They produce the most sunflowers in the world to be able to send the seeds and the oil. So y'all didn't hear about Russia and Ukraine bordering a deal to be able to send the food out? And then Russia was like, nah, F that, and start bombing them anyway. We didn't make no deal with y'all. Well, all that grain, all them sunflowers, all that stuff is just sitting in silos. And what Russia is doing is they're taking that and sending it back to their country. They ain't hungry. But that's why sunflower oil and sunflower seeds and all that stuff is going to go up. Why? Because the scarcity.
Yeah.
Do you know how easy it is to grow a sunflower? Dude, you take a seed, you put it in the dirt, and you wait 25 days, and you'll have a big head sunflower. And you got different variety. You got the skyscrapers that go all the way up, and those things are like this, and they drop maybe 100 seeds. And you take one, let it dry, boom, right back in the dirt. Here you go, sunflowers. I just bought some sunflower seeds last night for $3. $3.
Yeah, you gonna have them plants, bro?
Hell yeah, I'm gonna have them plants. I need them.
Remember Shaddai's house? From sunflowers?
Yeah.
The neighbor?
Yeah, I remember. But mine are gonna be those, the nice ones. Chocolate. Chocolate, so they look like chocolate inside.
Got it.
The point is this. Why they raise prices on y'all, on us, you could do it yourself. Or you get some dirt and a seed and put it in the thing and water it and boom. We're going to talk about some water too. I'm going to show you what I've been doing with this water. Right? So, let's deal with why the Most High cuts the rain off. So you can title this next point, why the rain gets cut off. And we know why. Well, let's remind ourselves. Let's go to a few scriptures. Go to Jeremiah 5:20. Because we would think like, oh, the Most High, God bless America. And nowhere else, right? Most High ain't blessing nobody right now. God bless America and nowhere else. We would think like, oh my God, the Most High, he loves us. Why is he letting this happen? Woo! Why isn't he letting it happen? It should be happening worse. It should be happening worse. Go to Jeremiah 5:20. Read that.
This book of Jeremiah, chapter 5 and verse 20. Declare this in the house of Jacob.
Right.
And publish it in Judah.
Right.
Saying, hear now this, O foolish people.
We are declaring this throughout the world. This ain't just a Judah and Israel thing no more. It's a world thing. Go ahead.
And without understanding.
Go ahead.
Which have eyes and see not. Which have ears and hear not.
Go ahead.
Fear ye not me.
Right? He said what?
Fear ye not me.
Bro, you don't fear me? Come on, man. All the things I've been doing, and you still ain't got no fear? Well, America ain't fearful. Their gender fluidity movement, lack of fear. We're gonna beat the coronavirus. They ain't got no fear. Oh, we gonna beat monkeypox. They ain't got. Oh, we don't need religion in church. We don't need religion in school. We don't need to pray. God, in God we trust. They ain't got no fear. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord, will ye not tremble at my presence?
Nah, they're not. They're not trembling at the presence of the Lord. There's no respect from our people or from these nations, man. Read.
Which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea.
Go ahead.
By a perpetual decree that it cannot pass, and though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it.
Go ahead.
But this people have a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone.
Read.
Neither say they in their heart, let us not fear the Lord our God.
Somebody else get me Jeremiah 3:3. Read on.
That giveth rain, but both the former and the latter in his season.
Right, he said, let us not fear the Most High. That give the rain in the former and later. Because you need that first rain to bud them seeds, and you need that late rain to keep them boys growing. But see, the problem is, we think what? Oh, we can circumvent the Most High's creations. We can circumvent the rain. We can do this. We can do that. But it's not working.
Yeah.
We can make Why did they come up with GMO seeds? GMO seeds were designed to be able to grow without water. Or with a minimal amount of water. That was the whole point of genetically modified seeds. To grow in a drought. Go ahead, read on.
He reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest.
Go ahead.
Your iniquities have turned away these things.
He said what?
Your iniquities.
Yeah, America's iniquities, man. The iniquity of the world. The filth of the inhabitants. He said you've turned away the rain. You've turned away the ability to get a good bounty on your harvest. Go ahead.
Have turned away these things. And your sins have withholden good things from you.
Jeremiah 3:3. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 3. Therefore the showers have been withholden.
Yeah, because of the iniquities. Go ahead.
And there hath been no latter rain.
Go ahead.
And thou hast a whore's forehead.
He said the world what?
Thou hast a whore's forehead.
America, huh?
A whore's forehead.
No, America pure, clean, and Christian.
Thou hast a whore's forehead.
Yeah, he said you got a whore's forehead, man. You stubborn and filthy. Go ahead.
Thou refusest to be ashamed.
Yeah, because what whore is ashamed? I'm just out here trying to get it. But ain't that the American mentality? Just get it. Get it how you live. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Wilt thou not from this time cry unto me?
Right.
My father.
Go ahead.
Thou art the guide of my youth.
Go ahead.
Will he reserve his anger forever?
And this is how you know the Most High is angry at the world. Because the whole world is feeling the pain. In one aspect or another. This drought situation, it affects a lot of different things, man. A lot of different ecosystems are being hit by this. Let me turn off the pipe. Let me shut those windows of heaven real quick. A lot of different ecosystems. Listen, in certain countries, they pulling the fish out the sea and put them in tanks. Out there in Europe, they got to pull the fish out the rivers. Think about that. Because they're like, if this river dries up, these fish are dead. We ain't got nothing to eat. We can't fish, and it's going to wipe out a whole species. So now they got to go fish the fish and put them in tanks. But that's insane. But that's how but that's how real the Most High is making it. Go ahead, read on.
Will he keep it to the end?
Go ahead.
Behold, thou hast spoken and done evil things as thou couldst.
Go to Ezekiel 22 and 24. This is what we got to understand. If you don't understand that we're coming to our end, that the Most High is bringing it to a slow death, then we're sadly misguided, man. If we're not Give me the one where it says, let the fish tell you. Yeah, give me that one real quick. Give me that one real quick. If you don't see that it's coming to a bitter end, and you want to be joined on to any one of these societies, it ain't even just America no more. They're all America. They're all Babylon. They're all little clones of each other. If you want to be joined to the worldly mentality, you're going to suffer these things, man. Read Ezekiel 22 and 24.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22 and verse 24.
Right?
Son of man, say unto her, thou art the land that is not cleansed.
Right. Go ahead.
Nor rained upon in the day of indignation.
You see that? We're the land, this is America, Europe. The world is the land, there's no cleanse. There's nothing clean. It says the earth is defiled by the inhabitants thereof. Why? Because they've broken the covenants, changed the laws. He said you're not rained on in the time of your indignation. Why? Because the Most High is letting this land suffer. Amos 4 and 7. Amos 4 and 7. And this is the fate. This is what's going on with them. This is what's going on right now. Check this out. Man, if the word ain't true, I don't know what is, man.
You know, yesterday on the news, right there on Mary Ashford and Eddie Clothing,
Uh-huh.
a police officer, a sheriff, came out, like, I guess he was arguing in the car with his girl.
Oh yeah, shot her and shot himself.
Yeah, like right in front of, and like there was an interview with July.
Wait, so was he a sheriff or was she?
It was either he or she was.
I thought she worked for the HPD. It was him? Okay.
I think it was him because when they released the statement, they were like, let's pray, we have her in her thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it's because they were saying that it was her that worked for them.
Nah, I think it was him.
Okay.
I think it was him, but they kind of like released the statement because they kind of knew that he messed up.
Oh.
So that was kind of like just releasing the statement, just showing that they kind of stood with her, I think. But
that's wild. That was right there, 8 o'clock in the morning. My rear drives that way to go to work.
And the cold thing is this: like they interviewed the July lady, and this July lady that saw the whole thing. She was like, I don't know. She was like, I just don't know what could have been going on in their house or with them that would make him want to kill her and then take his life
in the middle of traffic.
And then she was like, man, this world. She was like, I don't know what's going on with this world. She was like, this world is it's just so crazy right now. And I was like, God.
Yeah.
All they have to do was just say Khan, and it's messed up. Like, because imagine if you didn't have the truth. Imagine if you didn't have the Bible.
You'd be hurt, like her, like,
bro, you would be like. But it's funny. That was one of the reasons. That's one of the things that had me looking for something. I didn't know what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But 10 years ago, when I graduated high school, man, I hit the real world. I was like, this ain't normal. This ain't it. And I could only imagine like what they dealing with now. You know what I'm saying?
They're not knowing,
because it's not only people now, but it's the weather, it's the climate. Like everything is just so.
Can somebody get my favorite scripture? Wisdom of Solomon 14:22. Somebody get my new favorite. Somebody get this one real quick. This is my new favorite. I'm gonna be pulling this every class. Go ahead, read it, and then we're gonna get the other one. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, verse 22.
Is that it? Go ahead.
Moreover, this was not enough for them.
Right?
That they erred in the knowledge of God.
Because that's the problem. The whole world is error. They're in error in the knowledge of the Most High. Go ahead.
Whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance.
Whereas they did what?
Lived in a great war of ignorance.
And that's what the whole world is living in. Ignorance. Ignorance is bliss. As long as I could drive around and if I could get $5 in gas, I'm good. If I could get a little bit of food, I'm good. If I could do a little bit of this, I'm good. A little bit of that, I'm good. I know it ain't like it was in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, but as long as they don't, pull me over too many times, I'll be able to survive. When are we going to smarten up and turn to wisdom and let that be the guide? When are we going to see that the Most High is using every creation possible to wake us up, to wake up his people. Because really that's what it's for. It says the Jews require a sign. So he got his signs. I got my signs, right? We all got that sign, that confirmation of why the Most High is doing what he's doing and that you should be on his side. Bro, when nature starts to wild out, there's no, like, what can you do? Like, you ever watch, like, the shows, like like those shows about, like, the tornadoes that go, like, the tornado got it's like a human, it got a mind, and it's just, what's it called, Twister?
Yeah, Twister.
They got one called Twister. You ever watch, like,
sci-fi movie, like sci-fi channel movie?
Yeah, like, where the like, nature is like a literal, it's like literally thinking.
Yeah.
Well, it is. It literally is. Nature is literally thinking because the Most High is putting spirits on the nature, the weather, to exact punishment exactly where he wants it. It's crazy, man. What's that?
What's that? It's like that movie with Mark Wahlberg.
Which one is that?
The wind and everything starts murdering people, and they catch on to it. Like people start catching on to it.
Yeah.
The Happening?
The Happening.
Yeah.
That's the one with the cloud.
Yeah.
The cloud will cover this.
No, that's the Mist.
Or the mist or something.
That one
Was the Mist?
That one
Okay.
was the Mist. The Happening is the one where it's like people kill themselves because nature fought back against them.
The last one was Greenland. Remember that?
Yeah.
How he was, the meteors and all that stuff was, and it was just like, it was like this damn these hailstorms were like thinking, like, yeah, we're gonna go here. Nope, psych, we're gonna move over here. Nope, tricked you, made you go there. Like, you got that one, you got Geostorm. You got these movies are crazy, but guess what? Guess what the white man is telling? I know you know some.
Day After Tomorrow.
Day After Tomorrow. That's the one I was thinking about. That's the one with it got like the Empire State or the Statue of Liberty broken down and bro. But why are they putting these movies out? Because they know. Ain't no Mother Nature. They know it's Papa Nature. It's Papa Most High doing what?
Oh no.
Using his instruments, using his creations. But if you're ignorant, he said they warred what? Read it again.
They lived in a great war of ignorance.
Yeah, like, why is this happening to us? Doesn't God love us? This is God's love. This is his love. He said he chastised those that he loved. But if you understand, he's punishing the wicked, man. He's punishing the wicked and he's showing mercy to the ones he want to show mercy to. The ones that are using wisdom. Go to, jump back. Did you find that one I wanted? Go to Job 12, 6, 7. Job 12 and 7.
Job chapter 12, verse 7.
Yeah.
But ask now the beasts, and they shall teach thee.
Yeah, they teaching you what? Get right. Get right. Go ahead.
And the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee.
You know, y'all know a woman. She was like 60-some years old. She was a UPS driver. Y'all know 5 pit bulls. I don't know if it was pit bulls, but 5 dogs ate her up in Florida today.
Oh, I seen that. They've been talking about like the UPS workers and that. Like that's so common.
Yeah,
bro.
Dogs ate her up, man.
Bro, I tell you about the one in Detroit where I'm talking about this pit bull's head was like the size of a truck. And this pit bull, bro, was getting down on this on this post office worker, man. I'm talking about the dude hopped out the car with the club and was beating the pit bull in the head, and he just would not get off. And he was beating him and beating him and beating him and beating him. And the dog was just, man, I'm talking about he was dragging this post office worker. The dude was screaming. And then he ran back to the house to where he lived, the dog. Then he just came right back and just started getting him again. And the dude had to go get an axe and chop the dog with the axe.
Damn.
And the dog was still going up. Bro, it's bad. It's bad when the Most High uses these creatures because they're not gonna stop. They're gonna get what they want to get. They want some flesh. They want a chunk. They want an arm, a leg. They're gonna get it.
And remember, in Wisdom of Solomon, it says that they multiply their strength
Con.
against the wicked.
Con. Yep. Read that one more time.
Verse 7. But ask now the beasts, and they shall teach thee.
Right.
And the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee.
Go ahead.
Or speak to the earth.
Do what?
Speak to the earth.
Why are you so dry, earth? Why are you so chafed and chapped? Well, the earth is going to tell you because you niggas is wicked. Because it's defiled. The earth is telling us by what? The pollution in the sky. The smell in the air. Right? The Flint, Michigan water coming out the pipes. The earth is already telling us that it's over. The earth is failing. It's giving up. The earth is giving up, man. It's like, man, I'm done. Because of us. The whoredoms, the blood, right? All that wickedness in the land is defiling it. Go ahead.
And it shall teach thee. And the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee.
Yeah, when you got to pull fish out their habitat just to save them, there's a problem. There's a problem. Go from there. Go from there. Go to Amos. Did we finish it? Go to Amos 4 and 7.
Amos chapter 4 verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And also I have withholden the rain from you.
Go ahead.
When there were yet 3 months to the harvest.
Go ahead.
And I caused it to rain upon one city.
So that's what's happening. He's like, here goes all the rain in one city. Bam. Here goes all the rain. Go ahead.
And caused it not to rain upon another city.
No rain, 60 days in Dallas. No rain, 60 days in Dallas. We getting dumped on right now. We got rained on all day today. We got rained on for a few days straight last week here in Houston. We don't even need it. We don't need it like that. Too much out here. You already know what happens. Everybody's swimming. Go ahead.
One piece was rained upon.
Right.
And the piece whereupon it rained not withered.
And that's what's going on. California is drying up. Nevada, dry. Death Valley, Colorado. All these places, Kansas. You know anything about Kansas City? When you drive through I-70 in the summer, spring, summer, bro, you can't even see nothing but corn. It's just a corn city. Nebraska, corn. Colorado, when you go east, Burlington and all them places, corn and all different crops. But the places are dry. Go ahead.
Verse 8. So 2 or 3 cities wandered unto one city to drink water, but they were not satisfied.
Go ahead.
Yet have ye not returned unto me, saith the Lord.
And that's the problem, man. It's going to get to the point where it's like, wait a minute. This is the only spot that got water. We got to go there. And then it's still not going to look and see that, wait, let's turn to the Most High. Let's figure this thing out. Let's switch up our ways. Read on.
Verse 9. I have smitten you with blasting and mildew.
Go ahead.
When your gardens and your vineyards and your fig trees and your olive trees increase.
Yeah, man, that mildew, that white, they call it, there's a white, they get it, especially in California, they call it white flake or something like that. You get the white aphids that hit your cucumbers and hit all your little tomato plants. You get all that mildew and pestilence. Why? Because ain't no water coming to wash that away. Ain't no rain. That's what the rain is there, to wash away the pests. To wash away the pestilence that's going to attack your crop. Go ahead.
The palmer worm
right
devoured them.
Right.
Yet have ye not returned unto me, saith the Lord.
Right, so you can put a little title, just put crops. What's affecting crops? So I was listening to a few stories on the farmers, and what do they got to do? Well, they're at the point now where they're just plowing over their crops. Like if it's grown up a little bit, they're like, it ain't gonna grow no more, and they plow it over to try to preserve some of the moisture in the soil. It's called overcropping. You can do it some farmers that are smart, they do it. A lot of them are catching on now where you'll do or cover cropping. So like right now, in certain places it's gonna start getting cold. To keep your soil nice and moist, you would throw a cover crop down like beans. And beans will just grow crazy, and then they'll cover your soil and help you retain some of that moisture. What's that?
That's what the Sabbath year did.
That's what the Sabbath year did. You would cover crop.
You can touch it, all
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Right on point. That's what that said. And what did that do? Fed the soil, kept the soil fertile, compost, kept the soil loose, arid, moist, nutrient dense. Come on, man. Half the stuff we eat don't even got no nutrients in it. Boron. You know what boron is? Anybody? Okay, so what?
I don't know what it is, but I know it's in broccoli.
Okay. It's in broccoli, but very small amounts. But boron is responsible for, 300-400 different little functions in your body? Like little micro functions and, little small things. But they're big things. It helps you to absorb magnesium, which is what you need. It also helps the testosterone for men. Right? A lot of men, you hit 40, you hit 30, and all of a sudden you got low T. Well, why? Because the minerals in your food is gone. Boron is one of the most important minerals you need in your body.
Okay, so it breaks down the globulins that would hold your testosterone.
Right.
And it'll break that down so you're using more of your testosterone versus it being
stored, binded up in you.
Binded up in you, yeah.
Yeah. So it breaks down whatever's binding up the testosterone in you, right? Because that testosterone for men, that's important. That got to do with everything in a man: the hair growth, this growth, that growth, right? But it's not in the food anymore. They said that boron levels are so low, you could barely find it in foods. Broccoli, right? But that's supposed to be something that's in the soil.
Yeah.
That's supposed to do like magnesium, salt, potassium. Think about it, when you got to add potassium to your soil and magnesium to your soil. You got to, like, gardeners got to do that. You got to add stuff to your soil just for things to grow. Right? Because why? The minerals ain't there. The water is not. Water is one of the things that activates that soil and makes all that biology in the soil come alive. And one thing feeds another. One thing feeds another. You get your worms, you get this, you get that, and it's a whole ecosystem. Go to Joel 1:15. So they're plowing down crops just to try to save some dirt, save the moisture in the dirt. But if they would have followed that land Sabbath, like we had in the law, we wouldn't have to deal with these things, right? And now what are they trying to do? Well, we're just gonna circumvent the law, and we're gonna plant on this plot, but skip the other plots for now, and then we'll come back to those next year. No, you're supposed to let all the land rest, not pick a plot, not pick the plot you wanted to plant on the plant you didn't want to plant on. But that's how Esau does it. Oh, I got 50 acres, so I'm gonna only plow and sow on 25 acres this year, and I'm gonna let it rest next year, and then do the other 25 acres. They try to circumvent what the Most High has set up. That's like me saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do my Sabbath on Thursday. Y'all got it on Friday." And then, because next Friday I'm gonna be busy. I'm gonna take mine on Monday. That's what they're trying to do. Joel 1:15.
The book of Joel, chapter 1, verse 15. Alas, for the day of the Lord is at hand.
Right?
And as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come.
Jump to verse 10.
Verse 10. The field is wasted.
Go ahead.
The land mourning.
California, dry. Think about it. Napa Valley, all those great vineyards, they're gone. They're drying out. All your cognacs, the Douces and the Hennies and all that stuff, where do you think that comes from? That comes from Cognac, France. But what's going to happen when the drought starts to hit those places? To get a bottle of damn liquor, you're going to be playing an arm and a leg. You better learn how to make your own. You better learn how to grow some grapes and ferment your own little liquor. Probably tastes better too.
True.
It probably tastes better. You better learn how to grow something, because what happens when what you need is not there anymore? That's the point, or one of the points. What happens when you pull up to the grocery store and avocados, none. Tomatoes, none. Strawberries, none. This, none. That, none. When you can just throw something into the dirt in the backyard. Wait a few months and have a bunch. Come on, one tomato. You know how many seeds is in one tomato? Depends on the tomato. You know how many plants you can get from one tomato? You get about 50 plants, 60 plants. So one tomato. 60 seeds, man. Imagine that. One tomato plant give you about 30 tomatoes. If you do it right. Think about that. You gotta wait a little bit, right? You gotta wait a little bit, but that's what it might come to, where you might just have to grow something. Read on.
For the corn is wasted.
Go ahead.
The new wine is dried up.
Wait, what did he say?
The new wine is dried up.
Go ahead.
The oil languisheth.
Go ahead, read on.
Be ashamed, O ye husbandmen.
Mm-hmm.
How, O ye vine dressers.
Go ahead.
For the wheat and for the barley.
And they are, man. They over there in Europe looking ashamed, crying. These dudes on the news crying. They out there in California crying because they don't know what they're gonna do. Their whole livelihood is dependent on the rain. Go ahead.
Because the harvest of the field is perished.
Go ahead.
The vine is dried up.
Read.
And the fig tree languisheth.
You know how easy it is to grow a fig tree? Especially in Texas? Oh my gosh. It's real easy. It's not hard at all. Go ahead.
The pomegranate tree.
Pomegranate trees, they're easy. Go ahead.
The palm tree also.
Uh-huh.
And the apple tree.
Read.
Even all the trees of the field are withered.
Go ahead.
Because joy is withered away from the sons of men.
Jump down to verse 16.
Verse 16. Is not the meat cut off before our eyes?
Go ahead.
Yea, joy and gladness from the house of our power.
Go ahead.
The seed is rotten under the clods.
Read.
The garners are laid desolate.
You see that? He said the seed is rotten and the gardens are desolate, man. That's what's going on. That's what's going on throughout the world right now. That's why they gotta give you GMO. That's why they gotta give you alternatives like, we got too many snakes in Florida, so we're gonna try to figure out how we can eat python. Who was telling? Somebody was telling me about the cannibalism. Who was bringing that up? Was that you? They talking about
Eating people.
talking about eating people because there's gonna be a meat shortage.
Yeah, because of a meat shortage and to help with global warming.
Yeah, why is there a meat shortage? Well, cows eat grass and grass needs water. Right? He was bringing it up about all the cattle ranchers that were selling off cattle. Now, if you know anything about cattle, they usually keep their cows for the lifespan of the cow. They keep them for about 15 years. This dude was like, listen, we were selling off cows at 5 years old. That was a huge loss. Because in 15 years, the amount of milk, the amount of babies that cow could have, right? But if you cluck that thing off at 5 years, you didn't get nothing out that cow. Or even that bull. So think about it. They're selling off cattle at a high rate because there's no hay. You know hay is just straw, right? But you know straw is grown. It needs water. Even though it looks dry, it needs water to first grow. Then they knock it down, bale it up, right? But cows need that. Either hay or fresh grass to graze. So the Most High is, man, he's hitting everything. He's making sure that everybody's feeling it. And that's one of the reasons why your prices, the inflation, it got nothing to do with Biden and COVID. It ain't got nothing to do with the gas. It don't got nothing to do with any of the things they're telling you it is. It's what the Most High is doing to the world. Not just the parking lot.
The world.
World, Craig. Go ahead, read on.
The barns are broken down.
The what?
The barns are broken down.
Go ahead.
For the corn is withered.
Right, what verse you at?
Going to verse 18.
That's it. Go to Isaiah 24 and verse 3. Isaiah 24 and verse 3.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 3.
This was a fun class for me to put together because just sitting back and, again, doing my little backyard experiments and growing this and growing that. And I've been giving these brothers plants left and right. Who got the pineapple plant? He got a pineapple that I set up for him, right? It's so easy. You just throw it in some water, let it root in a week or two, and just throw it in some dirt. Water it, and you'll have a pineapple in about 2 years. But you'll have a pineapple. Ain't nothing better than eating your own pineapple that you grew, right? Like, it's, there's something good that you can see, like, in you see the Most High, like he said it, the things that are created, you can see that he is, right? And you sit back and you watch things grow, and you put your hands in that dirt, and you watch life come, and you're just like, damn, this is crazy. I'm still stuck on how you can take one tomato and have 30, 40, 50 plants from one tomato. But then we go to the store and spend all that damn money on tomatoes. But I get it. It's the convenience. It's already there. It's the readiness, right? I get it. We're in a microwave type of society. But y'all realize there was a time when everybody had a backyard garden, right? Did y'all know that? You couldn't just go to the supermarket for everything. You didn't just go to the supermarket for everything. You damn planted it and let it grow, and then you went to the backyard, especially in these European countries. They grew everything. Potatoes. You know how easy it is to grow a potato? It don't even take no effort to grow a potato. You don't even got to bury it. Did y'all know that? You can put a potato on the ground. Come back in 3 months, and you'll have 15 more potatoes in the ground. Bro, it's that easy. It's that easy. But think about it. You go buy a sack of potatoes for how much? How much is a sack of potatoes? $5. $5, right? Then they all spoil. But those spoiled potatoes, you throw them in the ground, and guess what? Here goes another sack of potatoes. Yeah. You can take spoiled potatoes, you can take green potatoes, and you put them in the dirt, and they will grow more potatoes.
Even if they're like all wet and mushy?
Wet and mushy. As long as they got little eyes coming up, you put it in that dirt. Cover it, you ain't even got to water them. Think about it. You don't even got to water them. That's how easy it is, but nobody's telling you. Nobody's telling us, and they make us dependent, right? And to an extent, what does the scripture say? The one of all things. Yeah. But does that mean that we can't use wisdom to circumvent certain things? Like, do we got to stay cursed? No. And have to depend on the white man for everything? Because what happens when he don't got it? What you gonna do? I still want to eat. Just because he don't know how to do nothing, I want to still eat. You know what I'm saying? Right. You just got to see the setup. I'm going to show you something. In some states, so you got a drought going through, in some states it's illegal to collect rainwater. Now, who got the patent on rainwater? The Most High got the patent, right? That's his water. But how can you make it illegal for me to collect it? Especially when in some of these places it floods. And if they have more collection, you wouldn't have so much catastrophic flooding. You wouldn't have the when there is a drought, people, farmers and stuff losing their minds. You know how easy it is to collect rainwater? So it's so easy. You just don't drink it. don't drink the rainwater before you filter it. Go to Isaiah 24:3.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 3.
And it's interesting because when you go on the internet, that's all you see is people like coming back to this old method of doing things themselves. People turning their whole front yards into gardens. Their whole backyard into a garden. It's easy. Herbs, this, that. Think about it. You go buy some herbs. You go buy the janky-ass herbs from Kroger, some thyme or some basil. It's disgusting. Basil just wants to grow. Mint, it just wants to grow. It's effortless. Those things are effortless. But you go get the stuff from the store that's been, think about it, they cut it 10 days ago, freeze dried it, whatever they did, and then you go get it. It ain't got none of the properties you want. It ain't got nothing in it that's going to be beneficial for you anyway. What's that?
Yeah, I remember cutting the grass.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Sunnyside, my grandmother's house, man, you cut the grass, you just smell all the onions.
Yeah, onions in the ground.
Yeah, in the ditch.
Because, bro, you throw an onion in some dirt, and that boy will just boop, 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 and you pull up, and you just got onions and green onions. Those things.
Yeah, green onions.
You ever
Strong too. Yeah.
cut a green onion, a scallion, take the bottom and just put it in dirt and watch that thing just regrow. Give it a week, you'll have a whole nother branch, and you can just keep cutting it, keep cutting. They don't teach us those things, but you go buy that stuff all the time because it's there and it's easy.
That's crazy. I could put that a lot.
Me too. But I learned, nope, I put the ends in a pot. I'll come back next week. Then you get you some seeds, throw them in, and you got your own little, and you keep that right there in the kitchen. Yeah. Right there in the kitchen and just cut it. They call them cut and come again. Read that real quick.
Isaiah chapter 24 verse 3. The land shall be utterly empty.
Right.
And utterly spoiled.
Right.
For the Lord has spoken this word.
Right.
The earth mourneth and fadeth away.
And that's what's going on. The world is mourning and fading. Why? We know it's time to usher in a new regime, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
The world languisheth and fadeth away.
Go ahead.
The haughty people of the earth do languish.
Because that's the point. The Most High is trying to get away the haughty and pride out of this place. He's trying to break that pride. The pride that I can GMO things, or I can clone this, or I can make. Listen, you go to there's places in Europe that they grow cabbage. Just what's the place in Europe? It's like the place that grows the world's like lettuce or cabbage. Damn, I forget. But the craziest part is, you talking about acres and acres and acres and acres. That's not even. It's not even open. It's a like 100-acre greenhouse or something like that. And they got lights and this and everything, hydroponic set up. Why? Because they're trying to get around the weather. They're trying to get around, again, the drought and all the things that the Most High sets up. Like, no, we can build things to get around this. That's where their mind is. But what is he going to constantly do? He's going to break that mind down. Go ahead.
Verse 5. The earth also defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
Because this is the part you can't get around, the defilement. You can't get around the defilement. You can't get around all the things that these nations are pushing. Yeah, you can grow all the crops you want, but what happens when your spirit is off? You can be master farmer, master gardener, right? But spiritually, if you're not right with the Most High, none of that stuff matters. He'll find some way to get you. Crops get Ebola too, right? Look at the other day, they had to cut back on what? Wendy's, they had to cut back on tomatoes. 4 people caught E. coli in the tomatoes. So the Most High gets you in anything he want to get you in. If your spirit ain't in tune. Somebody had their hand up. What with that?
They were saying also like you can get away from GMOs, but when they like a lot of things like corn, for example, they pollinate through the air. Mm-hmm. So if there's a GMO anywhere, it's gonna pollinate with your non-GMO stuff anyways.
Yeah, because corn cross-pollinates and a lot of other crops, they'll cross-pollinate and come up with a hybrid. Yep. A hybrid crop. And you're not going to be able to get away from that stuff because a lot of the seeds, they even set them up to where they can't even germinate. They sterilize a lot of the seeds. You try to grow your own little ginger. They spray something on the ginger for it to not sprout. You got to soak it. Soak it for 24 hours to get the toxins off. Then you can plant your ginger and grow your own ginger. Ginger is something that wants to just grow and replenish itself all the time. And you can go right in the dirt, break a piece off, leave the rest, and it'll just shoot up another shoot, and keep spreading out in that dirt. As long as there's dirt. You found ginger in your backyard, right? Didn't you find ginger in this backyard?
I think it was something he threw out.
So it was some ginger you threw out.
Yeah.
It just wants to grow. But ginger is one of the most expensive little things in the supermarket per pound. It's expensive.
It is.
Ginger and turmeric, come on. A pound of turmeric is $5. A pound. Grow your own. Yeah. Go ahead.
Because they have transgressed the law.
Because what?
They have transgressed the law.
The whole planet is in transgression. The whole planet has transgressed the laws of the Most High. Go ahead.
Changed the ordinance.
Read.
Broken the everlasting covenants.
Go ahead.
Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth.
It devours some parts.
The curse devoured the earth.
Just the white man.
devoured the earth.
Yeah, because Israel's eating GMO too. Let's be real. They just did a story on the fast food. I forget the word of the additive that they use, but it's almost like they're adding plastic to the fast food. They said a lot of these fast food chains use this additive, and it's like, damn, I just saw the story. But think about that. They're adding these fillers to your food. They said it causes cancer and it causes sterilization. Then they start going into what? Fast food is more accessible where? And cheaper where? In the black and Hispanic communities. They know that. They know that.
It's called fillets.
Huh?
Fillets. Fillets found in many fast foods.
Is it?
Fillets.
Yeah, but that's not how it's pronounced. But yeah.
Flaties.
No, that's not. That's an old story. This from 2021.
No.
Industrial plastics. It's some type of plastic that they're putting in the food. They find it in the meats. We have the meats, right? They find Chipotle, and they name some. Chipotle was one of the big culprits. Chipotle. Dang. It was Chipotle and like a few others, man. I think McDonald's was one. Chipotle was the number one though. But think about it. You think you're eating healthy in Chipotle? Let me get a veggie burrito or burrito.
It's Pleiades.
Is that what it's called? Okay.
This is a new study out Tuesday. It was back in 2021, but it says a new study out Tuesday reports that far too often small amounts of industrial chemicals called.
It's not flavors. That P is
phthalates.
silent.
Phthalates.
That's what it is. Phthalates.
I don't even know why.
Yeah, phthalates. But that story came back out today. I was watching that today. Phthalates. That's what it's called.
It says, which are used to make plastic salt, has been found in samples of food from popular outlets including McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Chipotle.
Or maybe I was watching an old story. I don't know.
They're probably just recycling it.
It probably. But the point is this: you're still eating Pizza Hut. We're all still suffering it. Why? Because of what the earth, what the inhabitants. Right? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Look at what they're doing to the planet. Look at what they're doing towards the creations. Where you at?
Verse 6.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And they that dwell therein are desolate.
Right.
Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left.
Right.
The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, and all the merry-hearted do sigh.
Right. Go to Jeremiah 14:1. You could just write cows die. Because this is what happens. No rain, cows die. Right? Farmers selling off cattle, no rain, no hay. It's as simple as that. We got a farmer, we call him the cowboy. It's a Judite cat. He got about, what do you say? He got like 600 acres down there in Wharton. Real cool dude. And, I was asking him about his setup. And he's like, bro, I got the watering thing. I got a well. I got a river. He got his thing set up pretty nice where, drought and all these different things. I asked him, like, you got cattle? You got videos? He's like, yeah, I got cattle. I got all that. I said, you have to sell anything? He said, nah, hell no. He said, I should have bought more. I said, you got hay? He was like, yeah, I got bales of hay all on my property. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Now everybody, like, how are you good? He just like, man, my property is set up. The one thing he said he got is the well. He said, I got a well. So that right there is just endless water until that well runs dry. But for now,
It's billions of water, billions of gallons of water
under that earth. Yeah. So that well water, then he has the setup where he can water his crop and water his animals when they're out in the pasture. Water his grass, because that water is important. Jeremiah 14:1.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 1.
Right.
The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah concerning the dirt.
Right.
Judah mourning.
Right. Go ahead. You can jump down to verse 4.
Verse 4.
Right.
Because the ground is chapped.
Right.
For there was no rain in the earth.
No. Just read from 1 down. I'm sorry.
Verse 2.
Right.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the
And
ground.
we know this is going at Israel, right? But let's broaden it out. Let's broaden it out. The whole world is in mourning. It ain't just Israel and Judah. It ain't just us, because we're a part of this world as far as being here. But we don't have to be in the mentality of this world. We don't have to continue to be in the mourning, right? We don't have to continue to be in the state of living in the war of ignorance. Oh, it don't matter. It does matter. We can take a little bit of accountability and ownership in certain things, right? Go ahead.
And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
Go ahead. Verse 3.
Verse 3. And their nobles have sent their little ones to the waters.
Right.
They came to the pits and found no water.
This is what's going on. Go ahead.
They returned with their vessels empty. They were ashamed and confounded.
Go ahead, verse 4.
And covered their heads.
Right.
Because the ground is chapped.
So the ground is like some chapped lips. It's ready to crack and bleed when you smile. He said the ground is chapped. Go ahead.
For there was no rain in the earth.
Uh-huh.
The plowmen were ashamed.
Again, these farmers, man, they are looking sad, like some sad puppies. Go ahead.
They covered their heads.
Right.
Verse 5. Yea, the hind also calved in the field.
Right.
And forsook it.
Think about that. Think about a mother forsaking her baby. Why? Go ahead.
Because there was no grass.
Can't feed you, baby. Imagine that. I can't let you milk for me because I can't feed myself to feed you. Go ahead.
And the wild asses did stand in the high places. They snuffed up the wind like dragons. Their eyes did fail because there was no grass.
Psalms 104 and 14. Somebody else get Joel 1 and 18. Somebody else get Hosea 4 and 1.
Joel what?
Joel 1 and 18. We'll call it back out. Go ahead. Psalms 104, 14.
Psalms chapter 104, verse 14.
Right.
He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle.
Right.
And herb for the service of men.
Right. That's the cause. I mean, that's the bottom line. For the cattle and for the service of man. Go ahead.
That he may bring forth food out of the earth.
Joel 1 and 18.
Joel chapter 1 verse 18. How do the beasts groan?
Go ahead.
The herds of the cattle are perplexed.
Bro, said the cattle is perplexed. Like what? Like what am I? Where do we go? What do we do? What do we do, man? Ain't no grass. Go ahead.
Because they have no pasture.
Read.
Yea, the flocks of sheep are made desolate.
Right.
O Lord, to thee will I cry.
And we know that, you know, when you look at these scriptures, man, it's definitely talking about us being like those herds with no pasture, with no guidance, right? We know that's Israel in that lost state, dry. Israel's chapped. need a good little watering. Right? Go ahead.
For the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness.
Wait, the fire did what?
Devoured the pastures of the wilderness.
Because not only do you have drought and the high temperatures, but think about all the wildfires. Think about all the wildfires that ran through just a month ago. I think from Colorado on, there was probably about 50 or 60 fires throughout all those states at one time. Y'all forget about Siberia? Remember Siberia was burning? That was the biggest fire. Yeah. Now Siberia is one of the if not the coldest place on the planet.
Siberia is the coldest place.
But it also was the biggest wildfire during the summer. Think about that. Most High ain't playing with them people. Right? And then you had the fire, at that time it was Siberia. There was one in Germany. Germany was flooding and burning. California, we know that thing is like a match. Mm-hmm. Colorado was flooding and burning. There was wildfires up north, Portland, because they were in a crazy heat wave. And all it takes is what?
Spark.
One spark. Most High sent a cloud through. Boom, bow, no rain. That cloud is gone and everything Bro, it's so crazy how the things be happening. The Most High will send a cloud through. Like, oh, snap, it's about to rain. And then a lightning bolt will come out. And then that cloud will just leave with no rain and all of a sudden it's a fire. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. But to me it's super, that's the Most High's, he's comical. His sense of humor is bar none. You look it up like, oh yeah, it's about to rain. But he sends lightning. He sends lightning to start a fire, bro. And it just burns thousands and thousands of acres.
Oh, and then you end up wasting more water trying to take it out.
Oh, when you're in a drought.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, because then you got to fly water in from the nearest river and dip into your stash. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That is just hilarious to me. Go ahead.
And the flame had burned all the trees of the field.
Go to Hosea 4:1.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel.
Think about this. Let me show you how garbage this place is. They could build a pipeline from damn Alaska all the way to Florida to pump gas. Wouldn't you build some type of aqueduct system to carry the runoff? Because you know it snows in California, it snows in Colorado, it snows in Maine and Boston and all them places. Wouldn't you build something for the runoff of snow to be able to funnel into these dry areas? You can do it with gas, right? Remember that pipeline they shut off?
Yeah.
That they hacked? That went from Florida all the way up to damn New York. A pipeline, one pipeline. Pretty, y'all ever seen them? The pipelines, they actually run along the railroads. Yeah, like when you go to Louisiana, when you drive into Louisiana, there's train tracks on, I think it's like on this side when you're going in. But you'll see from all the refineries, you'll see all the pipelines. They're above ground, they're underground, but you'll see them. They just run along the train tracks and they dive into the ground and they go into the water. And so you mean to tell me you wouldn't build something that's going to water the earth, give you something that you really need? Oh, wait, what? Oh. Give you something that you really need? Why wouldn't you build something to catch that runoff? Oh, well, you know what? It's not snowing like it used to. It is. Bro, the Most High is gangster. He's like, nope. It's not snowing in these places like it used to snow. So there is no runoff. Who had their hand up? What's that?
So that's like Minnesota. Last time I was there.
Minnesota, eh?
Yeah. They flood because like it turns to ice right away. It snows and turns to ice and it snows and ice and then they get those huge floods when it finally gets hot and it melts everywhere.
But you think that from Minnesota you can just run a pipeline or a few things from Minnesota down into OKC where it's dry, Texas, all these different places, right? Iowa.
They got the 10,000 lakes too.
You would think. Not in California. They got 0 lakes. Where we at? Let's finish this up.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 1.
Right.
Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
Go ahead. Because
there is no truth, nor mercy, nor the knowledge of the Most High in the land.
Right, so he's going to punish. He's going to exact his vengeance the way he wants. Go ahead.
By swearing and lying.
Go ahead.
And killing and stealing.
The more murder, think about it, man. It's like the more the land gets filthy, the more the Most High just does his thing. The more murder, like, I don't know if y'all watch the news. I got to stop. But it's funny because you said something the other morning. You were like, man, you woke up at 6 a.m. to go to the truck and y'all heard gunshots?
Yeah, I was making my tea to leave in the morning and then it was just gunshots. I was like, damn, who wants to shoot this early?
But guess what? Yesterday morning, 8 o'clock. I'm like, wait. I'm like, damn. I ain't even had my coffee yet. 8 o'clock in the morning and somebody's shooting. Like, who got time? But the problem is the violence and the murders and the killings and the lyings, the stealing. That's like the new wave, the robberies. Y'all got to be careful, especially you women. If you go to the bank, I don't know if y'all go to the banks and do things like that. You got to know who's following you home. When you go do certain transactions, they follow. That's how they get them. They follow women home when they come from the bank because they thinking, oh, they did a withdrawal, or they got somebody that works in the bank that, hey, she pulled out $5,000, and all they doing is just sitting there waiting for her to go home, and they bum rush her, take her money, take her vehicle. They're doing it to you men also, to brothers. We got to be careful. I'm not saying live in fear, but what I am saying is be circumspect, knowing what that knowing the time and the days are evil. Right? What's that?
My mother sent a message to us in group chat, and she said that in Houston, there was these men that I don't know. It's I don't know what it was. Do you remember what?
Napkin. They put the napkin on the
fentanyl
car.
Oh, so when you touch it,
The women,
the fentanyl.
Yeah, it will put them to sleep, and it's like marking them. So, like.
Yeah. They doing that. Listen, y'all. Who said it about the flowers? They putting fentanyl in the flowers, and the dudes is handing out flowers.
Yeah.
Fentanyl will kill you on the spot. Well, not crackheads, but regular people. They smoking fentanyl now straight. But regular people like me, like us, fentanyl. Come on, we ain't gonna lie, right? But think about it. I've watched videos, man, of women in the parking lot of like a Walmart or whatever the case may be, and a car will pull up and distract her. She'll go to the passenger. Another dude comes, pushes her in. Another dude hops out, jumps in the driver. He's gone with her and groceries and everything. And all they got is a camera, the footage, right? You got to pay attention to what's happening, right? Because this is what's turning up. The swearing, the lying, the killing, the stealing. What? Read on.
And committing adultery.
Come on, that's what this whole, man, it's like this whole generation is geared towards being a hoe. These women, they're like, yeah, I'm a hoe. Like marriage ain't for me. I'm a one night stand. You got the Instagram cats and the YouTube cats. They'll have their phone. They be like, "What's the craziest thing you ever did?" Mm-hmm. And she be like, "Oh yeah, I had sex with my boyfriend." And then went and had sex with his friend 10 minutes later. What? Yeah. Or one chick was like, "Oh yeah, I had sex with all my boyfriend's friends." And the dude was like, huh? And he was like, "How many?" And she was like, 5. F you. Like, they're proud of it. They're proud of it. Right? They're proud to be adulteresses and adulterers. Come on, read on.
They break out and blood touching blood.
And that's what's going on, man. All this blood touching blood, this murder, this killing. Your monkeypox blood with your COVID blood. COVID pox. Read on.
Therefore shall the land mourn.
Right.
And everyone that dwelleth therein.
Go ahead.
Shall languish. With the beasts of the field. And with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away.
Right. So that's what's going on. Let me get these last 2.
You know, I was going to say, you know one way that the land mourns too is when you see like what happened in Uvalde.
All right.
Where like a whole bunch of little kids died. Stuff like that is going to be happening like more and more. Where like the whole like, you see what I'm saying? Where just people are in mourning because of the craziness.
Romans 8:22. You just said it. Look what the scriptures say. Romans 8:22, and then
Romans chapter 8, verse 22.
Right.
For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now.
Why? Because look at what's happening on this earth, man. The whole creation is travailing and groaning, begging. Man, we tired of this. It's time. It's over. The fish, everything, the trees, the animals. Come on, man. The whole creation. But that's why the Most High is using that same creation to check this place. So, one last point, 2 more scriptures, and really we got to keep our confidence in the Most High. And the reason why I want to end it with this point is because next week, I already put it together, but I want to go over this class on confidence. So this is like a segue. So, you can read, let's go to Joel real quick, 2:23. I'll cut a few scriptures out. Joel 2:23, and somebody else get Jeremiah 14:22.
Joel chapter 2 and verse 23.
Right.
Be glad then, ye children of Zion.
Right.
And rejoice in the Lord.
Right. This is where our mind should be at, on the Most High. Not what's happening with the world per se, but more focused on our salvation. We know the world is going to catch they're going to catch their drama, but how do I not catch what they're catching? Well, I got to put my hands to that plow, right? I got to let my works establish my thoughts. Go ahead.
Rejoice in the Lord your power.
Right.
For he hath given you the former rain moderately.
And he has. Look at the blessings. Look at the blessings that the Most High has given you, not just in the form of rainwater, but just in your life. Right? The blessing to understand what is happening in this world. That's a blessing. Understanding, he said, with all that are getting, get understanding. To understand what is happening with this place. That's a blessing. To not be caught up in the war of ignorance. That's a blessing. Go ahead.
And he will cause to come down for you the rain.
Right.
The former rain.
Right.
And the latter rain in the first month.
Go ahead.
And the floors shall be full of wheat.
Yeah, man, you're going to get that abundance if we stay focused. Read on.
And the fats shall overflow with wine and oil.
Right. Good. Jeremiah 14:22. We'll end it right there, unless y'all got any comments or questions.
Book of Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 22.
Right.
Are there any among the vanities of the Gentiles that can cause rain?
And this is what we got to remember. This is a question. Are there heart machines and all that crap? They can't cause no rain, man. You know, the one thing the dude, I was listening to the news also, and he was saying something about the hurricanes, and he said, man, the one thing that we probably will never, ever be able to do, he said we could, you know, back 20, 30 years ago, they could track a hurricane up to 300 miles in distance, like where it would land within 300 miles. He said now the technology, they could do about 100 miles. He said, man, the one thing we'll never be able to do is replicate a hurricane or stop one. Like, hell nah, because that's the creation of the Most High. Most High is playing ping pong with the USA. And Louisiana is the 100,000 goal. Bing, 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 right? They always getting hit. They always getting hit. But go ahead.
Or can the heavens give showers?
Go ahead.
Art not thou he, O Lord our God?
Right.
Therefore we will wait upon thee.
Right. Not even the heavens can give showers without the Most High giving the say so. It don't just rain because it wants to. Most High says, no, rain on them. Rain on them. Withhold rain from them. But didn't he say he make it rain on the just and the unjust? Remember when he had, who was that, Elijah? He said, go ahead and let them know ain't going to be no rain for 3 years. Oh, you can go to Ahab now and let him know he'll get some rain. The Most High controls all that, man. So what do we got to understand? That we can't get caught up in, you got to know, you can't be ignorant of what's happening, but you don't want to be overly consumed with what's happening, right? Look at not how the wicked should be punished, but how the righteous should be saved, right? That's what we gotta keep our confidence in, is that if we do the right things and stay the course, the Most High will give us, he'll always give us that rain. Gone? Any questions on that? That was Jeremiah 14:22. My glass was, he said my glass was burning in that. Oh, they throwing out more. Right, they also had 2 fire tornadoes. See, fire tornadoes? Damn. Somebody was talking about that. We were talking about that a while back. There was like a fire tornado in Montana or something.
Yeah, I'm on was bringing it up.
Bruh, come on, man. The Most High is making this place crumble.
Chris, what was that the point before crops affected?
Before the crops? Crops. It was GMO. Crops. You could put why the rain gets cut off. And that starts at Jeremiah 5:20. We good? No questions? Anything online on the class? All right, well, again, we thank everybody for joining us. That was a fun class we did put together. I had fun. Hope y'all had some fun too. Right? I like to have these little good fun little knowledge classes.
Therapy.
Yeah. But you put nature corrects. I like it. When the Most High is angry. Remember, get your garment money in if you can. We got Memorial Blowing of the Trumpets coming up on the 26th of next month. We will be observing the feast day, so we won't have class that day. If you want to join us, you can hit us up. We'll be glad to have you. We got the summit coming up in Virginia, November 18th, 19th, 20th. So we're going to try to set up some travel for that. And we got Passover coming up in a little bit, right? What? 7 months away. Just happened, right? So just a few reminders. But yeah, with that, we'll say shalom and the water for everybody for joining us. Shalom.
Chilling up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahweh Shai and all the brothers and the sisters.